What's up, folks? I was in a meeting with one of our teams back toward the end of last year, and I asked if anyone would be interested in an introduction to modern web development type course, and people were. So I thought about what would be the best way to do that, and I talked to some of the people on that team, and everybody's at a very different place. So to have them all in one course together would mean people would be alternately bored. So I didn't want to do that. The other problem is we're very pro remote working at Mecklenburg. So getting everybody in the same place at the same time is challenging. So I thought I'd do it as a series of YouTube videos. That has the benefit as well. If anyone else out there would find this useful, they can watch it and make use of it. So figuring out what I'm going to put together, and it's kind of working backwards. Figured we'd start out with a happy web page. Yeah, Tobin does art. We're going to do that. And it'll be responsive for mobile, and it'll be a progressive web app. It'll have a map, a search, display results of a search, the typical GIS map site 101 sort of stuff. Now, working backwards from there, to make that we need some developer tooling, and that includes a lot of stuff. Includes, you gotta handle your CSS. You want to write modern CSS, not the, you don't want to write for the lowest common denominator of web browser you support. You want to write with the modern stuff and let some software take care of handling the older stuff for you. So we're going to look at how to do that with CSS, and we're going to look at how to do that with JavaScript as well. We're going to use a UI framework, which is all the rage. That way we can build in components that are reusable and testable, and it makes the code very clean and very robust, resistant to breaking changes. And we're going to do progressive web app type stuff, all these goodies, and we're going to need something to string all of that together, including, say, a whole development server so we can code and edit and see changes. We're going to have to wrap all of that up in a bundler. That is clearly a package with a ribbon. Shut up. That's clearly what that is. Now, all of this is going to run from Node.js. So we're going to need to know a little bit about Node. And also, just as a general practice, we're going to want to do version control. We're going to want to manage our source code. So we're going to take a look at Git and how that works. So working forwards from working backwards, we're going to kind of go this way. We're going to start out over here with a little bit about Node and Git, and then we'll just jump right in. And my goal is to make each one of these videos less than 20 minutes, because a lot of you are like the folks on this team, meaning that you're quite a bit smarter than I am, and you really don't need a 10-hour course on Git. You need just a little kick to get started, and within a week or two, I will be calling you and asking you questions. So that's the goal. That's what I'm going to build. So we're going to start out with Node and Git and move on from there. And when we're done, you'll have a good understanding of a modern web development environment and how all this stuff fits together. And you'll be off to the races. Now, most of what I'm going to do when I'm working on this stuff will be using Visual Studio Code. Code editors are more personal than diets in religion. So if you have a code editor you're happy with, by all means, use that. If you don't have one you're happy with, I'd recommend Visual Studio Code. It runs on every platform, including Linux, and it's quite nice. What I'll do in the blog post I'll have associated with this video is list the different Visual Studio Code extensions I have installed in my personal settings. So if you want to copy any of that. But if you're watching and you see me do something where I type a few keys and then all this stuff appears and it's like weird magic, it's some extension or something I'm using with Visual Studio Code. So that's it. That's a brief introduction, and it's one of those things where I'm going to try to make these fairly isolated. So if you already know about Node, you could skip that. If you already know about CSS processing with something like PostCSS, you might want to skip that. And you can just pick and choose, and hopefully it'll help you get started. I will see you soon. Bye-bye.